Welcome to a podcast of total terror. Night of the Nerdy Laser.
Welcome, everybody, to Night of the Nerdy Laser, episode 171. I am your host, as always, Richard. Welcome to the Void, Yule.
Cool. I guess we're doing the Void. I'm Jeff Lown.
We are doing the Void. That was your recommendation. It's from 2016 and can be found at the time of this recording on good old Tubi.
Good old Tubi never fails.
Never failed. Never fails, unlike Netflix during the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul
That was so stupid.
boxing match. Yeah, I was pissed because I stayed up till 12:30, 1 o'clock in the damn morning, and had to go to work the next day. So.
Just to watch a bunch of like scrambled up video.
I mean, I feel like I didn't have as much trouble as most, but I did get 3 errors, and I did have to, like, if it did buffer, like, you could exit out and then go back in,
Yeah.
and that would typically fix it. So
Yeah,
it wasn't as bad as like some I heard, but I mean, you know,
my dad and his friend were watching it. He kept every 5 seconds he'd be like, "Here, come fix this." I'm like, I have nothing to do with it. He's like, reset the internet. I'm like, no.
I mean, he's right. I would blame you too.
Yeah, everybody does.
Yeah. So we'll do a little bit like we usually do. We'll do a little bit of talk and show and tell, and then we'll talk about the movie a little bit, and then we'll do spoilers, and then we will leave your ears alone. So, like always, Jeff is an idiot and doesn't have show and tell.
I have something sitting right next to me.
Oh, are you going to show that?
Yeah.
You're lazy ass. Well, I'll go first because mine's better.
Depends who you are, I guess. Yeah.
Because I got movies.
What do you got? What do you got?
Okay, 2 came from our good old pal Jason down at the dungeon.
We'll talk about him.
We'll talk about him.
I don't want to plug him too much. President's Day.
I got President's Day. Have you seen it, Jeff?
No, but when we talked to Brad from TerraVision, that is the same director who did WNUF.
Yeah, that's why I bought it. Or that's
Yeah.
why I got it. Yeah. And then because of Joe Bob's Last Drive-In,
Satan's Little Helper. There it is.
Satan's Little Helper.
I got that one also. Don't remember buying it, but I was looking through my app and it was in there, and I was like, "Huh, I'll be darned, Jeff." You
now
never
find
cease
it.
to
Now find it. Good
never
luck with
cease
that.
to amaze yourself. Yeah.
All right. The other 2 came directly from TerraVision.
Okay.
I haven't seen this, but I really like the trailer, and I've looked at it, and I really want to watch it. It is Psycho Sisters.
I feel like Vampire Mike said he liked that one.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody was
character.
talking about it, and I looked it up, and I watched the trailer, and it looked pretty good.
Okay.
And then speaking of WNUF.
Uh-oh. Oh, you got the deluxe.
Got the Out There Halloween mega tape. I didn't realize I had the deluxe because Jason down in the dungeon has it. And I don't even know what I paid for it, to be honest. So,
did he have those deluxe Frogmen ones in too? Or did
he has them, yeah. Mm-hmm. I didn't get that. I've heard it's a good movie though, but yeah, this is cool. It's kind of like, I mean, it's the Out There Halloween mega tape. It is the sequel to WNUF, although it doesn't sound like it. I mean, the art's cool. It's really cheesy and cheap looking, and
I love it on there.
I actually don't really like the deluxe thing. I mean, I'd rather just have the slipcover and the thing. I don't know if I had a choice to not get the deluxe.
Well, it has a slip inside of it, right?
It looks that way. I haven't opened it up. But here, let's do it.
Opening up your movies like you're going to watch them.
Yeah, why are you so against action figures but not movies, you hypocrite?
Because I don't play with action figures. I just look at them, so they could stay in the box. Movies,
Well, you
I
should
just
play
I
with
just
them.
I just look at the disc and throw them around like I'm in Mortal Kombat or something.
Haven't you seen Toy Story? You got to play with the toys, man. All right, let's open this thing up. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you get to actually see this. If not, you're just listening to me opening this up.
Yeah, you guys get a podcast and an unboxing.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, so we got this this little booklet.
Yeah.
What is it?
You tell me. You're looking at it.
I don't know. It just says a bunch of things.
Well, that's how most books or booklets are. They say a lot of things.
No, but I mean, it just has like 1/900 Frankenstein, 6 throats slit for Satan, Abomination City.
I guess I could open mine to see.
And I mean, it's just literally a list of. I mean, I guess they're movies. I don't really know.
I'm guessing it's a little gag that is either in the movie or just makes some sort of sense with it.
Red-headed step monsters.
That's
all right, and then we got a poster. So that's cool. That's fun. It's like if you
like an 11 by 18.
Yeah, and it's like if you were at the video store, you know.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's pretty sweet. Now let's look at that. Oh yeah, I love this thing. Oh, that's really cool. So the side of it looks like a VHS tape, like with the writing on it, and it's got on this side it's got the WNUF Halloween special, but it's scribbled out, and then it just says "Out There Halloween Mega Tape." I actually have no idea what this movie's about, right? Like, is it just all gorge yourself on candy corn and hunker down in your basement for a haunted house party filled with aliens, vamps, and phantom tramps? First up is trash TV titan Ivy Sparks' Halloween Spooktacular episode from 1994, featuring ghoulish guests, each dumber than the last. Fast forward to 1996 to witness Ivy's nosedive into obscurity when she co-hosts the infamous Live Out There special for the short-lived Ace Network. TerrorVision is proud to present the spiritual sequel to WNUF Halloween Special, the Out There Halloween Megatape from creator Chris LaMartina, bursting out of your trick-and-treat pail with bonus goodies to make your October extra special. Bunch of extras, yeah.
Yeah.
Fun. Yeah, I need to watch it, but it's kind of a bummer. Some people's came like right the day before Thanksgiving or the day before Halloween.
Yeah, I got mine, I think, after.
And I was like, dang it. I mean, I would have probably watched it, but that's probably a lie, too.
It's definitely a lie. The intentions were there, I'm sure. So, yeah, that's a pretty good haul. I have a couple that came in, but they're in a box in the other room. But they're not really even horror. They're more world cinema, I suppose. Some Italian stuff, some martial arts stuff. Oh yeah, I got that other thing, that other box set from Shout Factory that came out recently. I'll look it up real quick. That's not how you do that.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
It was a box set. I think it's man, I kept seeing it all over. Anyway, it doesn't matter. All right, so I brought this book by this really famous author. It's called Fat Trapped.
No, never heard of it.
Yeah. It's by RT. And
Artie,
yeah. No, but I got this. When did I get this? 2021, 2022?
Yeah, if nobody understands why we're kind of digging, that is a book I wrote.
It is a book.
A novella that came out 2012, 2013, somewhere around there.
If they look over your shoulder, they could see some artwork.
Oh, yeah, that's a painting I did. Yeah, that's just a painting I did for it.
Yeah. But the reason I brought it up is not to plug your book, but just because I found it cleaning stuff.
That's how much my shit means to my friends. Jeff nor Corey has read the damn thing.
If it's over 100 pages, I can't read.
It is not. It can't be that far over 100.
It's about 153. It looks like.
Oh, look at me being.
Yeah,
smart.
Look at you. But so that's on my list. So I guess I could probably knock that out before the end of the year. I'm trying to hit my goal of 40 some books usually a year, and I think I'm at 34. I'm reading The Hunger Games right now, which I don't know. Casey was like, you should read it, and she said that like 2 years ago. So now I'm reading.
Just skip the third one.
I'm just going to read the first one.
I mean, the second one's the best, but the third one is just the drizzling shits.
Did you watch that prequel thing or whatever? The movie?
Yes, and I was so mad by the end of it.
Why? What happened?
Nothing.
Well, yeah, because I don't remember when the first movie came out. I don't know if I was still working at the theater, but I just remember like how big that movie was, that franchise was, and
yeah.
I
read the book. Well, I listened to the audiobooks first.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing with this is audio.
Yeah, I'm listening to Clown on a Cornfield 3 right now.
I need to do that, but the library doesn't have it. So
it's really good. It's different. I mean, it's
the first
different. Yeah, I mean, it's as different as the second one is to the first. I mean, this one's way more different, really. I mean, it is a lot different, but I like the direction it's going. I'm not halfway through, but almost.
Well, with the first two, I love the first two books for sure. They have that. It's not the exact feel of Scream, but it has that where they're in high school, then they go to college, and they grow up a little bit. And I'm curious to see where the third one goes because I was reading 2 when he announced that 3 was on pre-order, but I haven't got to it yet. So I do plan on getting
3
that.
Is a lot. 3 is a lot different, really. I mean, when you look at it, like, I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna spoil it because I didn't even read the back of it. Like, I didn't read what either one of them were about. What any 3 of them were about. Adam Caesar is the author, and he's coming to FrankenCon next year, so that's why I wanted to kind of knock him out. And he is, he's gonna be there signing autographs, signing books and stuff. So you can check out FrankenConTN.com for more info about that. So yeah.
Oh, and I mean, that's my show and tell what I showed you, but I bought that other book too from the guy that did Miss Peregrine's, the one that you said you were.
I know. I made it to page 50, and then I got knee deep in Clown in a Cornfield, and I'm gonna try to do that one after I finish this third one. Yeah. I didn't really want to start the third one, but I was like, I mean, I remember the characters, I mean, I was already in that world, so I was like, I should just knock it out.
Yeah, no, that makes it easier because I was thinking about that, just talking about it now. I was like, I know our main character, and I can't remember who else is still around. So.
I mean, her friends Cole and Randy and her dad. I mean, not being a spoiler, but
Yeah. So I'm curious.
Yeah, it's a good series. I like it, and I hope he makes more. I mean, I just want to keep reading them. I really like the world he's created. So
me too. Again, and like to me, it seems it's like Scream in a sense that I'm familiar with the characters in the world, and it feels like real natural, and it doesn't feel like too outlandish ever at times. I like his work. I'd like to see his other stuff, but I haven't gotten anything else.
Yeah, I want to do Influencer. Well, I don't want to do it next. I want to do I want to try to finish that actual book, and then I'll just get the audiobooks are just so much easier for me to do. Like I can, I try to walk more, so I try to do 30 minutes a day, so I can at least listen, to 30 minutes a day, and then at work I try to walk on, for like 15 minutes of my lunch, stuff like that. So I try to So it's just, and like today I was cleaning, blowing leaves and stuff, and I could just listen to the audiobooks.
Yeah, no, I get it. I like the audiobooks too, because sometimes when I'm playing Xbox or something, like, and I don't, if it's just like a mindless game, especially like Minecraft, I could just zone out, like building stuff and listening to a book.
Oh, that reminds me. So we're having problems with our washer and dryer, and instead of just buying one, my wife wanted me to call an appliance guy, which I didn't even know still existed. So I found one, and he came out today and to look at it. Turns out we have to buy a new one anyway. So, that's fun money to spend.
Mm-hmm.
And but he came in the house, and he walked into the main room where the TV is and stuff, and he's like, "This is like a Minecraft house," and he just looked around because, like, I mean, it's an older house, so like it was made in the 30s, and then they added the back on it in the 70s, so it's just like a mismatch of things.
Yeah.
But it was just funny the way he said it. Like, I mean, he's in his 20s, I'd say. So it's just funny. He was just looking around. And he was like, "This is like a Minecraft house." So
if you want to buy ours and come out Colorado and grab them, you're more than welcome to. I hate them.
Your house?
Well, no, I like my house. You could buy our washer and dryer.
Oh. Well, we're going to buy a new one, I guess. So.
Like new. Discount.
Well, it's funny because, I mean, I lived in this other house, my first house I lived there for, I think, 10 years. And the washer came with that. The washer and dryer came with that house.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And, I mean, that washer and dryer is probably easily 30 years old, still kicking. But
really?
It was one of the old school ones, And this is by Samsung. Why we bought a CD player company to do a washer and dryer, I'll never know. But
a Samsung. Finish your story with the washer and dryer. Was that it? My TV's a Samsung, and it's not all that old, and it gets these stupid lines like across it, and I'm like,
yeah, sucks. Don't call an appliance guy. He'll just tell you to buy a new one.
Yeah. So
he was going to, because he said by the time I get done with this, it's going to be $600, and Black Friday's coming up, and you can just buy a new one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right, everybody. I'm sure the majority of the audience probably hasn't heard of this, right? Unless you have Shudder, maybe, or Tubi, or
yeah, I feel like so.
I mean, it's not a mainstream movie, and it's like
I thought you meant
2016.
I thought you meant they hadn't heard of Jason Down at the Dungeon.
Well, nobody's heard of Jason Down at the Dungeon. That is until we talk about him, because he has a physical media store, which I'm guessing this movie is on physical media, so it could be down there. You can find him in Maryville, Tennessee, right outside of Knoxville, where the more is the Maryville.
Hell yeah, it is.
As the saying goes, because our stupid ass mayor, that just recently got in a huge fight with our community hospital. So we're not a community hospital anymore. We are a part of a conglomerate out of South Carolina. So all the things that yeah. Anyway,
That's
I can't go
the American healthcare system.
So, well, I can't go into it. I can't really. Well, and it kind of sucks because I can't really express my opinion. Because I work there now, and but but I mean, I've I'll just say this: I've been through a buyout before.
Yeah.
And then and got laid off 2 years later. So anyway, but this is a hospital, so it's probably not the same situation. I do have to take a drug test and background check and all that. So
yeah.
And I'm really curious. I have 600 hours of sick time, and I don't know what's going to happen to those, Jeff.
Well, you could use some of those to go down and hang out at the dungeon.
You're just pushing for that, aren't you?
For you to hang out with Jason?
For me to keep talking about
Jason? You do that enough with them. I don't need to motivate you to do it.
No kidding. So yeah, Jason's right here in Maryville, Tennessee, right outside of Knoxville. And you can find him if you go down East Broadway, hit the roundabout, look for the bookstore, and go around back. Jason's tied up down there, selling all his wares, such as vinyl records, vinyl laser disc. Are laser disc vinyl, actually? I don't even know.
Not sure on that.
Laserdisc, Beta, VHS, DVD, 4K, HD DVD, and whatever other media he can get a hold of, he will sell it. Lots of CDs, cassettes. So there's a large horror theme to the store. So check them out, and you can go to dungeon underscore. Damn it. You can go to Southland underscore dungeon. Southland underscore dungeon on Instagram and Facebook. If you see something you like, he posts all the time. Just shoot him a message and you can work it out, and he'll give you a good old Night of the Nerdy Laser podcast deal there. So anyway.
Yep, back to the movie. So yeah, like we said, The Void 2016, directed by Steven Kostanski. And I think it was co-directed or something with Jeremy Gillespie. So are you familiar with Steven Kostanski's work?
Well, I was talking to Corey over Spooky Dudes earlier, and he loves this movie. But yeah, he did Psycho Gorman, which I haven't seen yet. And did he do The Signal Corey was talking about, or no?
So he's one of the directors.
Corey was talking. Corey just really likes The Signal, I think. Oh, that was a recommendation he was doing. He recommended us to watch The Signal.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll do it because nobody else says, hey, you guys should do stuff. So anyway, this guy is from Astron 6. So I really liked Astron 6 back in the day. I mean, I don't dislike them now, but I just, I don't think they're really doing so much as a group anymore. So they did that movie Manborg. It was just kind of real cheesy, like comedy.
Oh, yeah, it was always at the Dollar Tree when they had DVDs.
So he did Manborg, then he did Father's Day, which is it reminds me of like Trauma, like a Trauma movie. Then he did the short BioCop, which Pizza Party Printing put out a shirt for a long time ago, which I don't even know if they're around anymore, but I used to love that. He had a segment on ABC's The Death 2. Then he did The Void. He directed Leprechaun Returns from 2018, which I haven't seen that one.
I haven't seen any of the new ones.
Then they had a web series. I think it was on YouTube. It was called The Divorced Dad Show. So, and I bought the Kino because Kino put it out on Blu-ray for some reason, so I got it because, like I said, I love them. Astron 6, Psycho Gorman 2020, where they really kind of made their mark. I think that's where people really started to notice them.
Yeah.
They did a segment for VHS 94. They did he did 4 episodes of Day of the Dead TV series that was on Sci-Fi for one season and got canceled. It was not good. Sorry.
That was a weird choice to make that into a TV show.
It was that, and there was another 1 or 2 things. I think Chucky.
That was when they were doing like Zombie Nation and the Blood Drive. And
Blood Drive was awesome.
Blood Drive was so good.
But it was Chucky came out around the same time, and obviously Chucky kept going while Day of the Dead died. And then he has
now Chucky's dead.
I bet it gets more life on Shudder because looks like they got all the rights for the TV shows and stuff. But we'll see. But yeah, he directed a new one this year called Frankie Frico, and I keep seeing.
Central Cinema in Knoxville had a showing of it, and I want to see it.
I do too, but I don't want to buy the $30 Blu-ray right now, so I'm going to wait to see if it streams. Anyway, that's the guy we're dealing with here. This movie, tonally, compared to those other movies, is not the same.
No.
So we said we're going to do it still like we've been doing. So we're just going to kind of give our brief, overviews and stuff. Then we'll kind of
spoil. Yeah. We can just do a non-spoiler overview. I'll discuss the bio, the synopsis from IMDb. It's which it's really short because these are never official. But shortly after delivering a patient to an understaffed hospital, A police officer experiences strange violent occurrences seemingly linked to a group of mysterious hooded figures.
Yeah.
So tonally, this movie, you know what it reminds me of? That Splinter movie.
With the gas station that we covered?
Yes. Because
With
it's kind
the
of dark
creature?
like that, and it's like, in an isolated building, and it's low cast,
Yeah, I mean, I see aspects of that definitely. To me,
I
this
mean, not so
movie,
much the creature and stuff like that, but I mean, like, just tonally, as far as like they're trapped in a building, and like you don't really like the characters.
you don't really get to know too much about them. You get kind of a background on two or
Well,
three of them.
what you don't. I mean, did you like the characters?
I didn't mind them. They're just kind of a means to the end, though, to get to where we need to be at the end of the movie. But um, to me, this one it's definitely a big feeling movie that isn't big. It reminds me of Hellraiser, sort of, kind of like in Hellraiser 2, like that big world, like Hellraiser World or whatever it is. I never, because I'm not huge on Hellraiser, but just the Leviathan or whatever it is, the big world they go to in the second one. I feel that it's definitely cosmic horror. And then what you said today over text was, is this the thing? I could see some, aspects of that too, with not so much the cold isolation, but one location filming, and just some of the stuff we encounter within it and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of stuff that I think works for it for sure. Like the costume design for the cultists, like it's very simple but very kind of cool, I think.
I mean, it's very effective. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some of the posters I've seen for this movie, like the artwork, I love the artwork on a lot of the posters I've seen for this movie. So I mean, it does, and as far as like cosmic horror and how it's getting that point across and conveying its message, I really do like it. And coming from like independent side of things, almost, because they kind of are. Astron 6, I don't think ever had like huge backing by anybody. I'd say Psycho Gorman with Shudder was probably the most that they've ever had on their side to do something. But it feels like this big grand film when it probably isn't. Like the effects work on this is really what sticks out the most to me, I'd say.
Yeah, I wonder how much of practical effects there are and how much non-practical, but you can't really tell.
Yeah,
So I think that's a good sign. But there's lots of blood, lots of bashing, lots of
axe chops.
Yeah, there's a lot of gore. The story I feel like sometimes gets a little convoluted, and I don't really understand it. I'd probably have to watch it again to really gather everything that I would need to know to fully enjoy the story.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, yeah, it's I probably am not as in love with it as you and Corey.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm fine with it. I mean, the first 40 minutes I think is just kind of tough.
Yeah, it's a little slow out of the gates. I mean,
and I don't really like the characters. Like they should have added like and I know people hate like the funny guy, but if done well, the funny guy can work.
Yeah,
I mean, it's needed to break up what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, our main guy sort of reminds me of Ash in Evil Dead without the comedy twist to it. Because everything that happens to him in it, he's obviously our main character, the deputy. But I don't know. It's sort of a bleak movie. So I could see why you don't like it. But not dislike it, but just might not be as high on it as me.
Yeah, I mean it's fine made. I mean it looks great. I mean, and I didn't hate it, and it didn't bore me or anything. It's just one of those things where might have caught me on the wrong day of watching it. But it does move a little slow.
Yeah. But I mean, the good thing is an hour and a half later and you're done. So.
Yeah, I mean, and the last 40 minutes is really cool. There's some really cool stuff that happens. I don't know if it's a twist, like the end is a twist. Is more of a, it's just it knows what story it wants to tell. I actually think the background of what happened before would actually be more interesting than this story.
Yeah, and you could talk about that a little bit because I'm curious as to what you think about that part when we get into the second half spoilers here. I'd assume right now. So,
yeah, I mean, I think we can go ahead and tell people if we would recommend it or not, so that they would know. So, what would you?
Absolutely, I would. But I mean, I wouldn't say it's for everybody either at the same time. I would say all horror fans should definitely watch it. People that are real into special effects work and makeup, I would definitely say yes for them as well. So
yeah, I mean, those are good reasons. I mean, I would probably not recommend it to somebody, but just because, I mean, there's just so much out there that I don't know if this is necessary to watch, but I don't hate it certainly. But so if you are bowing out of the show now, we appreciate you listening, and you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Night of the Nerdy Laser. And you can see all the content that we do over there. You can, if you don't like to listen to the podcast, you can watch it. And if you don't like to watch it, you can listen to it. So you've got options. So yeah, we're going to get into spoilers right now. So we'll give you 2 seconds. 1, 2. All right. So, all right, you start.
So, I mean, with this movie, we get this cult. We get a cool opening. So I think you might think, wow, this is going to be like snapping, a lot of stuff going on. Of two people that basically are running out of a house. One gets shot in the back, and then did they light her on fire?
Yeah, and I actually forgot about that.
And then so that happens. Then we kind of cut to a thing. It doesn't really say a time, but it's later that night, and our deputy picks up somebody he finds kind of just in the middle of the road or something like that. Gets in there and they take him to a hospital, and then that's kind of where it all kicks off. But I mean, our earlier discussion of it kind of being slow, like it from that point, him picking him up, it does slow down. Almost to a screeching halt, but I think it does enough to move it along.
So part of my issue is I think they would have done better by just making this an empty hospital, because I just do not believe, like, it's like an understaffed hospital. No, there's 4 people there and there's no patients hardly, except a pregnant lady. It's like, this is not a hospital. Like, I don't know what this is. There's not
like a clinic or something.
Even then, it's a poor clinic. Like, you would have patients. Like, there would be other people there.
Yeah, but the thing they do as far as like giving it a reason to be so like short-staffed and stuff was a fire had broken out in most of the hospitals. So that was like the wing that was reopened, and it was basically just the emergency room, like intake. It seems like.
Yeah.
So I mean,
who's doing their insurance?
You. Hey, Richard, could you come into work? We got a void opening back here. We're short-staffed. Jeff, I can't podcast right now. I gotta go in. The void's calling me.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, the environment's okay, but it's just bleak. I mean, even Splinter isn't as bleak as this. It's just a very dark movie that just doesn't really give you any hope.
No, and that's the thing with the and I'm a big cult movie person. Not like, oh, it's a cult fan favorite, but like movies with cults in them. I always kind of I enjoy those because I like to see what direction they take it. Most of the time it's like a devil worshipping cult or something like that. But now this one's the cosmic horror cult kind of thing where they're trying to bring the other god or somebody, a different deity like into existence from another plane of existence. And I think that stuff's interesting. Some of the like just the it feels very Lovecraftian.
Yeah, I would say that.
And just some of the like mutated like things that we get like in this, like that big blob creature, the dad and the son hack up with axes.
Yeah.
When you said, is this the thing, were you referring to that lady's face that had the little things coming out?
I mean, just everybody like turning into something, like the humans turning into things and stuff.
Yeah, it's almost like an infectious thing like that.
Which, I mean, that's what happens in the thing.
Yeah, but I mean, there's just like that lady takes her face off. She's like, "This is not my face."
I know. Yeah, I think. I mean, I just got sort of confused about the whole thing, and I don't know. I mean, I just think there was too much shock to like the dad and son. Like you didn't know that they were the dad and son.
Mm-hmm.
He picked him up or whatever, right?
Well,
and then at the end, you find out that the dad blamed him for.
Well, that was was the son, the guy that got stabbed in the neck, so his vocal cords, he couldn't talk. So yeah, that was that guy and him, and they were together the whole time. The guy that the sheriff picked up was like a tweaker guy.
No, I know that guy, but I mean, at the beginning of the movie, he did not say, "This is my son."
Oh yeah, no, they were just two guys that were shooting people.
Yeah,
no.
So I mean, like, is that necessary? Was that a necessary surprise? Like, they could have told that story at the beginning and been okay, you know? I mean, I think like they needed a more than that, you know, whatever 4-minute opening for me to actually remember it happened, you know? So it would have been more interesting to me if we saw like, you know, a good 15, 20 minutes of before this.
Yeah, so
Just give us a little bit more background.
The way it tells the story, it sort of reminds me of, I could see the poster right now. Larry Fessenden's in it. We're Still Here. Sort of, you know, some of that story. Like there were a lot of good movies that came out around like 16 through 19. More so, maybe a little earlier, maybe 14 through 18, 14 through 19, around that. But just the way the storytelling kind of during that period came out of that mumble gore and stuff like that to go into like the other time frame. But yeah, you know, kind of reminds me of that at times. But you know, it's not something. At times, there's movies where yes, I want to know more background stuff like that. This one, it didn't so much get to me as the others, just because, like I said, I wanted to just see more of the cosmic horror stuff. I wanted to see what was on the other side of this void, and you know what the cult was going to bring, and you do get to see that. So to me, it pays off, like for watching.
You sort of get to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's boring.
What do you think about the end with those like pyramids?
I mean, it's
just
fine.
Whatever. Yeah.
I mean, it was fine. Like I said, I mean, I just think it doesn't tell enough of a story for me to actually care.
I feel that's a budgetary thing for him for sure, but
even like the bad guy, like they kept the bad guy as secret. But if they had given more background on him, like how did he know to do all this? How did he know how to bring it up? How did he create this? Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
I mean, the makeup and the effects are amazing. I mean, and it is a well-made movie. You know, it's hard to argue that. But I mean, I just think you know, a lot of the movie was kept to be a surprise, and I think that just hindered it. You know, much in the, you know, me and Corey earlier were talking about, he had just watched Trap by M. Night, and you know, he talked about how The Village always gets shit on, and I honestly think The Village probably would be better off if it didn't have the twist.
Yeah.
People were just so focused on the twist. They were like, well, that's stupid.
But the road was right there. Yeah.
So anyway, but I mean, I don't completely hate the movie. I would watch it again, and but you know, I just think that if you don't see it, you're probably not missing anything. I mean, Psycho Goreman, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I would venture to say that it's probably more of an enjoyable movie because I've heard it's more not maybe not lighthearted, but
it's funny.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what that Frankie Frico is too.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I mean, but yeah, I want to see that one really bad.
Cool.
So yeah, everybody, thanks for listening. That's this week's podcast. We got another exciting episode next week where we don't know the movie that we're going to talk about. So we will go from there, and we got some interesting things coming up towards the new year. So stay tuned. You can, like I said earlier, you can follow us on Night of Nerdy Laser on all the socials. And Jeff, if they don't want to do that, what could they do to help us out?
Well, they could go to hell, but they could go to Apple or Spotify, subscribe to our podcast, give us a little rating and a review because it helps us. And like you said earlier on in the show, that you could definitely check out our page on YouTube. YouTube / Night of the Nerdy Laser, something like that. Just Google YouTube.
Yeah, if you just type in Night of the Nerdy Laser, we come up, and you can just subscribe even if you don't watch us. It helps. We'd like to hit 100 at some point, maybe by the end of the year.
Yeah, we're close. We're close. We got that one more that I wanted, so just a few more. Do another call to arms like you did for Frankencon.
Yeah, but Frankencon's different. People don't give a shit about my podcast. I wish they did, but they just don't.
Just accidentally post Night of the Nerdy Laser stuff to Frankencon's page. Uh-oh. How'd that get on there?
All right. Well, we appreciate y'all listening. If you want to send us an email where you could recommend or trash us, whatever you want to do, you can do that at nightofnerdylaser@gmail.com. And until next time, what should they do, Jeffrey?
They should keep it bloody.
Because somebody has to in this day and age.